First he gets up, then the sun gets up. He's King Tut's boss. This guy is big. Please welcome Paul Slayton!
No pressure.
No thought control.
I'll go after the surprise birthday thing. Fantastic. Hey, I love you, Mom. I love you.
Leave those kids alone.
Today's my mom's birthday. She's watching my kids. It's true. Hey, man. I'm not even making that up. That's a terrible joke. My mom's at home. I'll watch the kids. You can go to the comedy thing. That'll be great. My name is Paul Slayton. I am here because I am one of the assistant principals at the middle school, and the principal, Shannon McGee, did this last time. So it showed up on my little Google Calendar thing, and so I'm here this year. Great to meet you all. Here's how we're going to proceed. This is Shannon's cell phone number. If you don't know Shannon, she loves to talk. Say anything you want. If you're offended, if you're unhappy with the school, really public education in general, just call. Say nothing at all. Call often. In fact, on your way out, there's a clipboard. If you could sign up through the night, tonight, tomorrow night, Sunday night, we're going to push ahead. I do appreciate your support as we go that way with things. When I walk back over here, that's the cue. Watch, we'll do it again. Here we go. I do appreciate doing things. Oh my God. In all sincerity, it is an honor to be here talking to you people. And can we, and this is, I mean this sincerely, can we give it up for the amazing people that were up here talking? It's pretty cool. The strange thing is I'm the assistant principal of discipline, obviously. And not only am I an assistant principal at a middle school, I am the assistant principal of discipline at the middle school I went to as a kid. I went to Willow Glen Middle School for 6th grade, 7th grade, and 8th grade twice. And I settled in. Here's my picture from when I was in 7th grade, because it's going to come out eventually anyway. Feast your eyes upon the lad. If you look at my upper right forehead quadrant, those are stitches. Because about 3 days before school pictures, I was struck in the head by a shovel. True story. If you have children, you understand, statistically, the most dangerous time for a middle school kid is the week before school pictures. That's when you're going to have your shovels to the head, your giant zits, your Wolverine attacks, so they can be immortalized forever in the annals of history. This is from the yearbook. Seriously, folks. There's a strange thing that happens. Nicely done, Rick. There's a strange thing that happens when you work at the school you went to, and it's a kind of a double vision. It's like a duality. I'm walking the halls, and I'll see an area where I literally remember throwing an entire apple at the head of a friend during lunch. And I'll have that memory as I'm screaming at a kid for throwing an apple at his friend's head. And it's hypocrisy. But it keeps me warm. There's a dark underbelly to working at the middle school because you normal people have suppressed your middle school experience. And that's really a function of therapy. So you've suppressed, 8th grade and back is kind of a blur, and there was lunch, and I don't know what else. But on a daily basis, as I go through my day, you all that are middle schoolers are just nodding soberly. There are horrors to behold. And the day comes to mind for me in 7th grade. I had just finished a night of life-changing diarrhea. I mean, questioning the existence of God diarrhea. And I was diarrhea-free for about an hour, so my mom sent me to school. Because she's Portuguese. Are there any Portuguese people here? I'll slow down. I'll slow down right now. That's a classic, right? And the Portuguese, actually, the part of the brain that regulates mercy is removed at birth. And so my mom gave me a pack of wet wipes and sent me off to school. And I got to school, and I made it through first period, rocking, feeling strong, dehydrated, but okay. Second period, science. About halfway through, I felt that shift in weight in my bowels that indicated an episode was upon me. And I'll never forget this. I stood up from the chair, and I almost made it to the door of the classroom. Now you're thinking I diarrheaed my pants, and I did not. And yes, diarrhea can be a verb, because I just used it as a verb. I made it to the door of the classroom before the stomach cramps, like you know, it's like you haven't had diarrhea. They struck, so I doubled over, and I went pale, and I started to sweat, and my lip started this involuntary sort of flutter, I guess you'd call it a flutter. And I was walking out the class, and I was supporting myself on the lockers, which are coincidentally right outside my office. And I was going down the hallway, and this teacher came the other way. Now, every middle school has a teacher like this. You remember him. He's an old guy. Doesn't seem to actually have a classroom with children. You remember him, huh? He needs to be fingerprinted and checked out. You've been watching the news. You know what's going on. He's got his coffee cup, and he sees me coming with the lip tremor, what did I call it? A flutter. The lip flutter, the paleness. And he goes, oh, man. And he puts his hand on my shoulder. And he thinks I'm having some horrible experience, like I got dumped or, you know, had an apple thrown in my head or whatever. And he goes, middle school's tough. It's going to be okay. And I'm just, you know, and he ended with, the weight of the world, huh? The weight of the world. And I literally remember thinking, no, the weight of a gallon of diarrhea pressing on my sphincter, yes. Weight of the world, not so much. I did make it, in case you're curious, I made it to the restroom facility, and that is why the bathroom in the F wing is no longer used by students. Destroyed it. Literally, it is now a janitor's closet. There's a myth, I think, about working with young people, and some of you that don't work with young people probably think it keeps you young. It is not true. It does keep you from having faith in humanity in any way. And there's a reason, because the young people you see are going through the stuff you went through, and that your grandparents went through, and it's been going on for thousands of years. It's not new, it's just in front of you. And so you don't really expect much progress. It's just kind of what it is. Parenting is the same experience. It's literally, and I'm a parent now, and here's, can I look at, forgot to walk. This is my son, David. First day of school. He is literally, I've never met someone like him. He is the apple of my eye. I love him dearly. This is my daughter, Grace. And this is my daughter, Grace, flipping you off from the bathtub in our house. And here's what I love about this. There's two kinds of people right now. There's people going, oh my God. There's that guy's daughter flipping us off in the bathtub. And the rest of you are going, she hurt her finger. And she did. And I just said, which finger, honey? Click. Which finger, honey? Show me again. Show Daddy which finger. Click. Come on, it's for the wedding. It's for the wedding. But, ooh. So when you have children, you realize you've entered a tennis match of depravity. And you send something towards your kids, and they send something back at you. And my children, though I love them, they've ruined my life. Because I used to be cool. I really did. I was awesome. And then these kids come along, and suddenly I care deeply about things like how fast people drive down my street. And I have a wonderful street with like one awesome normal neighbor, and I have a ton of my neighbors here tonight. And this is serious for me. My neighbors are great, they know to be slow. But I'm standing in the dining room months ago, And I hear a car coming, and I'm enraged. I was kind of already enraged, but whatever. I heard the car, and we're talking, it's going like 30. You know? 30. And I look up in time, and get the picture with me here. There's a white cargo van coming down backwards. 30. Residential. I ran out the front door of my house like a beast. And I was chasing the van to destroy it somehow. And the man parked in front of Diane's. You know what I'm forget it. Anyway, and I'm running, and I don't know why, but this little man, thank God it's a little man, because I was coming in hot. And I was either going to be beat up or kidnapped or shot based on who got out of that van. But it's this little man. And he had a clipboard, he was obviously delivering something, and he got out of the van, and I went up to this person, and I howled at this person, and using completely appropriate language. I said, "You should not be driving like this, sir, and I question your parentage, and you are not contributing to society at all in any way." And this man, and I'll never forget this, he held up his clipboard and backed against the side of the van. He was afraid of me. And it caused me to self-reflect, and I looked down, and I'm wearing a Metallica t-shirt, and my pajama pants with the holes, and my slippers. And so I decided I need to get out of here before I look like an idiot, right? And so I didn't want to just walk away, so I finished with one of these, and I'm glad we talked, and I'm looking at your license plate number, sir. I'm watching you, and I turned around to go home. My wife was standing on the lawn to back me up, or to keep the children away from me. It's also a possibility. You know, really good parenting sometimes is keeping your children away from your partner. It's true. I like to think that that's my children's fault, but it took me back to my own childhood and the things I did in the tennis match of depravity, right? To my parents. I had, as a young man, I had a ninja suit. And I would wear the ninja suit when my parents had company. And I would sneak around the house, dressed, and I cannot describe. It was a full-body ninja suit with the thing in the eyes and the little arm gauntlets. And I had a ball. And only now, as a father, do I realize that I forced my parents to explain to their guests that the man in the ninja suit was their son. That's my son, in the ninja suit. I wasn't good at it. I wasn't an invisible warrior. I just would go scrolling through the room in my ninja suit. Being 17 is rough. Ninja suit, you know? And I like to think, oh, my poor parents. No, tennis match both ways. So I sent over the ninja suit, but Dad sent this one back my way. I'm 15 years old, pre-ninja suit. I'm sitting in the I'm sitting in the living room playing Sega Genesis. Can I get an amen? Those of you that don't know what I'm talking about, you're either too young or too old. It's okay. It's okay. I'm playing Sega Genesis. My dad, I miss him dearly, I love him. He was in the kitchen cooking. It was his thing, it was his zen. He was cooking, and he called out to me. He said, "Paul, how about you come set the table for dinner?" And I'm playing Sega Genesis. I'm 15. I feel I have things well in hand. I said, "You know what, Dad? How about you set the table?" And I resumed playing Sega Genesis. Now, my father was older than my friends' fathers. He was a combat veteran from the Korean War. Which never really meant a lot to me until that day. Because from my right-hand side, I heard a sound. And as I turned, my father was charging me. Like he was going into Incheon Harbor in 1950. Coming out, I had to look that up. I had to go on to Wikipedia. Who knows anything about the Korean War? Korean War battles. Incheon Harbor, 1950. So Dad's coming at me fully on, and somehow he has taken off his apron and thrown down the spatula so his hands are free. He's preparing to destroy me. Now, the next few minutes are lost to me. Therapy, remember therapy? But I do remember coming to my senses and setting the table like the President of the United States was coming to dinner. There was linen, and there was like candles and crystal. Beautiful. I leave you with two things because it's Friday night and I have babysitting until 10. First of all, thank you for being here and supporting performing arts in the public schools. Give yourself a hand. And I mean this because there are a lot of people whose passion in life is helping children grow and learn. And a lot of good teachers in California, and a small handful of crazy people that make the news. We appreciate your support. We're not all on the news. Hey, thank you. And I also leave you with this because I found it on a 6th grader as he stapled it to his shirt and was following his friends around school, so this would show next to him. So I'm going to put, Rick, thanks, man. Let it sink in. Didn't I just finish making a pitch for public school, too? And finally, against my better judgment, as this is clean comedy night, I found this sign on the door of a group of teachers that were just grading a test. It's funny if you look at it long enough. Thank you for being here. Thank you for laughing. Have a great evening, everybody.
Can we get all the comedians to come up on stage one more time?